So converting single to three-phase in essence, why not just use a VFD? Are these quote inverters just cheap versions of VFDs? I can see where the sine wave would be more stable, a more stable voltage as well.
Well, an inverter driver versus a VFD, the whole machine is taking a whole lot more inputs and calculating all that into the actual speed of the compressor.
Right.
So whether the main board's built into the drive board or you got a separate drive board doesn't really matter. But part of the reason why we use the drivers that we use is because of all the other input the machine is getting. And I've talked about that in another video of how inverters work, meaning all the data that the board is looking at to know what speed that compressor should be running at.
Right.
So it's a lot more in depth than what a VFD would.
Yes, typically. Absolutely. Now, if I take a VFD and I take all those inputs and all that, and I could adjust the speed of what the output of the VFD is, what's the difference? There's not one. It's the same thing. A VFD is an inverter driver. I will
Exactly.
say that judging by the construction of some of the VFDs that we're talking about, one of the things that they seem to often lack is noise filters. So if you've ever had, electrical or audible noise coming from a VFD, it would be because they do not have noise filters. I can't say that all of them are that way, but they absolutely can be. But a lot of the differences really between these can be a sawtooth sine wave VFD or inverter board versus a true sine wave inverter board. Ours are true sine wave. So like if you buy a converter or an inverter or whatever for your vehicle and you've got an option between true sine wave and then not true sine wave, depending on what you're operating, it could be better to have a true sine wave. If you want to provide power to your house, for example, you want a true sine wave inverter. You don't want something running on MOSFETs or whatever. I don't know that anybody continues to use the MOSFETs with the sawtooth sine wave. If there are, I hope they don't charge a lot, because that's it's the least expensive way to convert. Anyway, a lot of great questions come from that kind of thing. But as far as like ECMs, VFDs, inverters, and all that, they're all pretty much just doing the same thing.
They're very similar.
Thanks for getting involved. If you need more answers, catch us live every month when we tackle your questions in real time. Head over to greecomfort.com/GREE-training where you can register for the next Talking Comfort Live. See you there.